South Korean oil spill has wiped out the coastline. Oyster farms wiped out along with wildlife. Tourists shun area. South Korea has had its worst oil spill ever. My oysters are all dead, a 70-year-old woman said Sunday, as she and thousands of others cleaned foul-smelling oil from the beaches. I cried and cried last night. I now don't know what to do. Some 2.7 million gallons of crude gushed into the ocean after a collision Friday between a barge and a supertanker carrying more than 260,000 tons of crude oil. The spill has brought despair and shock at how the pollution has shattered lives and businesses. The South Korean government declared a state of disaster as the oil slick began hitting the shore early Saturday, coming in waves of mucky, stinking crude. The spill now threatens the livelihood of an area that includes popular beaches like Malipo, which is considered one of South Korea's most scenic areas, and serves as an important stopover for mallards, great-crested grips, and other migrating birds. More than 20 million tourists a year visit the area, providing an economic boost to the area's 63,800 residents, heavily dependent on fishing and seafood farming. This ocean is dead. At Malipo Beach, a raw fish restaurant owner was helping with the cleanup, but said he feared the situation was hopeless. We have no choice but to leave this place now, he said. This ocean is dead. Among those affected by the slick were 181 aquatic farms producing abalone, seaweed, little neck clams, and sea cucumbers. No detailed damage estimates for the area as of yet as a whole have been released, though the fears are it could be very substantial. Ku Ban-chun, chief of a local fishermen's association at Mohang Port near Malipo, said 32 acres of aquatic farms raising abalone, oysters, and other marine life there were all submerged by oil-coated waters. I feel like my heart is empty, he said. These fishing farms are all finished. He said some fishermen have been hauling in crab catches worth up to $5,400 a day, but they are now all gone, he said. Tourists shunned the beach too because of news of the disaster. Said Chun Kwang-ho, who runs a 10-room motel nearby. My business is ruined, he said. People have repeatedly called me to cancel their reservations and ask me about what's going on here. Chun said that hundreds, maybe thousands, and thousands of seagulls and other birds used to come at this time of year to the beach where tourists would feed them. That really looks splendid, he said, but you see now, there are no seagulls and no birds at all. Seagulls don't come here because of this terrible smell. He showed 2 dead birds coated in dark oil. He said they were ducks or mallards. I feel so bad and sorry for them, he said. Thousands helped clean up. Some of the 7,500 volunteers who helped scoop up the oil from the beach, including civil servants and members of the Coast Guard, police and military, contended with headaches and nausea from the petroleum's stench. Still others worked aboard 105 ships along South Korea's western coast, trying to clean the sea, plugging the leaks in the tanker, dropping oil fences into the ocean, and trying to use chemicals to break up the slick. The nation's previous biggest spill, less than half the size of this one, was in 1995. The South Korean government has stopped short of promising direct aid, saying any compensation would have to be paid by insurance policies covering the two ships and an international fund that covers oil pollution damage. Prime Minister Han Duck-soo, however, instructed officials to help afflicted fish and seafood farmers receive quick compensation. His office said in a news release. No details were given. Chung, the oyster farmer, said her damage would amount to $21,800, with the oil slick appearing just as oyster harvesting had begun. "I can't describe how I feel now," she said. "This is what helped me raise my children and educate them." This is a very large oil spill, a very large oil slick. There's been an awful lot of them lately. Not too long ago, a Chinese ship hit the San Francisco Bay Bridge. It seems like there might have been a few more. Oh yes, one in Russia not too long ago. An awful lot of oil spills lately. More than there's been in quite a while, it seems. Anyways, these are more signs of the last days, and there are many, multitudes of them. Period.